Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here. And I'm very humbled that you've selected me to join the ranks of Oshkosh High, Oshkosh West Distinguished Alumni. Yes, what Lindsay said was true. I have kicked sharks, flown small planes, dived shipwrecks, climbed pyramids, and more. Add teaching to that, and life has been an absolute adventure. Receiving this award necessitated writing a biography and a speech. That took reflection. Now, whether you're a student, teacher, administrator, board member, friend, or family, I'm sure all of you have heard how important it is to take time to reflect on your experiences. I've been to workshops where reflection was a major component in the program being promoted. It's been a facet of several classes I've taken. Reflection will always be encouraged. But hey, this is the age of multitasking. Some of you are doing it right now. But to reflect, you have to slow down, turn off the cell phone, the iPod, radio or TV, the electronic games, and that's really hard to do. I speak from experience. Maybe that's why so few of us take time to reflect. Well, you've given me the perfect reason to put everything aside and reflect on the question, what was it that led me down these varied paths to where I stand today? I was born and raised a Southsider in Oshkosh until my dad was sent to Fort Lewis with the 32nd Division in 1961-62. The furthest I had traveled was probably Wauwatosa or Stevens Point. I remember that summer of '62. As soon as school was done for my mom, sister, and me, we hopped in our blue Buick and began a cross-country trip to be with my dad in Tacoma. How different things were than Wisconsin. Endless miles of prairies where you could see further than the distance across Lake Winnebago on a clear day. A jackrabbit that came out of nowhere that ended up on the passenger side of the car's hood right in front of me. Talk about up close and personal way to see how different a jackrabbit could be than a cottontail. Ooh. Water that tasted strange and smelled of sulfur, and mountains to cross before the home stretch to my dad. We took advantage of where we were that summer and the many routes that could lead us back home to Oshkosh. I was an impressionable 10-year-old when I stepped into an ocean for the first time, played in Mount Rainier's snow on a sizzling summer day, felt the cool moistness of a temperate rainforest, saw the blinding void of desert around Grand Coulee Dam, and discovered the wonders of the latest technology at the World's Fair. I saw exotic animals, strange plants, and culturally diverse people. I also learned that rocks weren't the best tool to use when something stuck on a roof. Replacing that window sure made a dent in my Disneyland money. Each day was another adventure as we took in many natural and man-made attractions on our roundabout trip home. My sister and I heard every available written word about these places as my mom read from various guides and brochures. We were having fun and learning at the same time, and that's a key thing in life. There were more driving trips after that summer, and I truly believe these family adventures ignited my spirit of travel. Travel and adventure expanded on, can you believe this? On a bus trip with the Oshkosh High Spanish Club from right outside this auditorium all the way down to Acapulco and back. A trip almost unheard of today as we all look to planes to quickly get to our destination. If we hadn't toured by bus, we never would have seen the varied topography, gotten a glimpse of another culture's everyday life, and discovered how two-lane highways can somehow become 3 lanes when anyone decided to pass. We wouldn't have seen the children hoping we'd toss a few coins on their way as they held up iguanas with their mouths sewn shut. And we wouldn't have experienced the federales boarding our bus and how totally cool and unflappable Mrs. Caprillion, our Spanish teacher, was as she took control of the situation. After that trip, It was no problem handling gold diving in the wilderness of Alaska, exploring business opportunities in the newly independent country called Belize, and investigating the wonders of the Galapagos Islands with only the contents of my carry-on bag. And much to the dismay of people who know me, I've collected and saved a hoard of souvenirs during the years, each and every one a treasure to me. But then there's my profession, teaching. How did that happen? Kindergarten at Jefferson School with Mrs. Wacholtz may have planted the seed. School was a fun place, a cheerful room of wonder with large cardboard blocks we built into ships, painting at an easel, stories, songs, and the all-time favorite, show and tell. Then there was my fourth grade teacher who gave us tokens for good work. My sixth grade teacher who let us do projects that were put on display for everyone to see. Initially, the move to South Park School was mind-boggling. Lockers with combinations, uniforms for gym class, extracurricular activities. But the teachers were always there to help every student make the transition. Organization and attention to details was as important as sewing and cooking in home ec with Ms. Schlurf. Our civics teacher, Mr. Robertson, Bob Bobson, he jokingly called himself, was the first teacher I encountered who used rhyming and mnemonics to help remember key information. When we completed his class, I'm sure everyone was able to correctly identify Ho Chi Minh with whiskers on his chin. Next, it was the big move to Oshkosh High. The range of courses available to us was staggering. As staggering as the number of students, which necessitated split schedules and an open campus. This was the big time. Time to start thinking of what we really wanted as we took our required courses and branched out with electives. My thoughts kept turning to teaching. My mom became a teacher when I was in grade school, so I already had an idea of some of the requirements. Plus, I loved helping her. I liked the excitement of learning new things, like when Mr. Brown showed us the secret of using a compass to construct a perfect pentagon. Or when Mr. Ranta taught us that identifying hidden symbolism in literature can give a story a whole new meaning. Or when chemistry teacher Papa Schultz doused me with distilled water when I experienced firsthand the effect of HNO3 on leather shoes, nylons, and my favorite new blouse. Gee, I wonder if any signs of that acid spill remain in that chem lab.